Hey, good afternoon, everybody, or good morning in some cases. Let's make sure there's sound. Hello, Monica. The sound must be working. Thank you. All right, EV, Val. Hey, Val. Hope everybody's doing well today. I sure hope everybody's making a few dollars today. Hello, Paula. Ed, thank you very much for inviting me over here. I appreciate it. For those that don't know, my name is Rick Sadler, founder of Hit and Run Candlesticks. And we're here today until Ed says he doesn't want me to be here. I'll be here every Monday at 11:45 Eastern. I want to thank everybody for being here. Appreciate it. First of all, let's just start with, does anyone have any questions, on the scanner, the market, anything like that? We'll spend a couple minutes and see if I can help with any questions. And then I've got a couple things I want to talk about. This morning, while somebody is frantically typing, I want to remind any members here of Hit and Run Candlesticks, and of course members of Right Way Options as well. This morning there were some alerts sent out on positions that we took with Hit and Run Candlesticks, and also Doug sent them out with Right Way Options. So for those that are members, if you have the app downloaded, you should have received that. If not, then we should probably talk about that. We won't do that here, but over in the trading room, we can help you get that set up if you don't have that set up. No questions? No one has any questions here? Why are we here? Anybody want to know something? I mean, FIMI, it's the Pro Trading Room app. And it's something for members of Hit and Run Candlesticks and also Right Way Options that when we buy something or we close something or we make an adjustment, we post it in that app and you will receive it instantaneously. For instance, yesterday or Friday, you would have been alerted that we bought some C, and you would have been alerted that we closed half of C here, right in here, and then it's still up. Bank of America would have been the same thing. We bought some Bank of America Friday, and we're still in it. We have not. Oh, no, I did. I sold half my Bank of America today, and you would have received an alert on that. Today we bought XOP, and you would have received an alert on that. Yeah, that's different, Femi. Yes, it's just a benefit of members of Hit and Run Candlesticks and Right Way Options, where you just get alerted if we buy something. So, yeah, all right. Any other questions? Otherwise, I want to talk a little bit about the T-line and scanning for the T-line. Let's see. Hi, David, Rick. I'm a visitor, and I'm wondering if I can do a trial with both programs. When you say both programs, can you be a little specific, David? Well, you know what? Never mind. The answer is yes. You can do a trial with live trading alerts here. I believe Ed has a 14-day trial. And yes, you can do a trial with Hit and Run Candlesticks or Right Way Options, providing you've never had a trial. Yep, you sure can. And by the way, when you're on a trial, you can also get those alerts. Okay, absolutely. Yeah. There's the link right there. Thanks, Ed. There's a link for the live trading alerts 14-day trial. Okay, so I have a question. How many people here use the T-line as a trading tool? Does anyone Does anyone use the T-line as a trading tool? Okay, a few people do. All right, cool. Nice. Nice, very nice. My next question, my my next question is, how many people have no idea what the T-line is? Femi's one. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, there's a few people that don't know. Okay, good, good. Well, let me give you a little, very fast history, brief history on the T-line, and then I want to talk about scanning for it, because it could have brought up things like Disney, could have got you into Disney earlier today. CMCSA, this is one that I'm thinking about buying here today, right there, CMCSA. I bought Mara today because of the T-line scan, and I'll talk about that in case it doesn't work out, but we'll do that. So anyway, go back to Disney here. Looking pretty good, really. The T-line is this black line right here, and it's nothing more than the 8 exponential moving average. That's all it is. Okay, years ago, when I was trying to be a trader, I failed miserably, way too much in the beginning, and I had to come up with something that would help me with trading. And I've always, not nowadays, but used to be, I always traded off the bottom. It's the way I was taught, and anyway, never made any money trading that way. Kind of hit and miss. So what I did, after a whole lot of struggling and an awful lot of work, I realized that if I would just wait till price moved over the T-line and came back, this is one of the things right here, came back, then I was much better off buying. I was much more likely to make money. So, here we are, and then up. So to me, you're much more likely to make money. So the thing of it is with all these stocks out here, how do you know which ones are crossing the T-line or, bumping their head on it, things like that? Well, Ed has created a couple of scans on live trading alerts that can do just that. Find charts that have crossed the T-line, not only within a period of time, but you can also get charts that cross the T-line today. And let me go back to Mara here, because I bought this one today. And I want to also talk about a little bit about the rules on trading the T-line, or in this case anyway. There's several ways you might use the T-line to help you trade. We're going to talk about this one right here. Now, also on the T-line, what I have found over the years, it's a terrific guideline for me. Now, Paul there, I'm just going to use Paul because you're the last person that typed. For Paul there, it may not be that great. Not for this anyway. I use it as a guideline. If price is above the T-line, I'm bullish. If price is below the T-line, I am not bullish. It's as simple as that. I'm a short-term swing trader. I am aware that price can come down and really not come down very far, maybe here, and then turn around and start coming up. And I realize that is also a swing trade. I've just figured out what works for me, and the whole idea of using the T-line here as a guideline. See, this would be an example. That would not be a long trade for me, and this would be a long trade for me. So just using that as a guideline, one of the things I want to know many times is charts that are coming up through the T-line, or maybe charts that have come up. This is a great example right here, that has come up through the T-line, and it's alerting in all these days, right in here, it's, it's knocking on your door. It's saying, hey, hey, I just did what you asked me to do. I crossed up over the T line within, I don't know, say 10 days. And I might be in say a 3/8 trap perhaps, if that's what you're looking for. So crossing up over the T line, pulling back, 3/8 trap. Or there's a scan where you can cross up over the T line within X days. We'll just say 10 for the conversation here. And then show me, once you've done that, show me when you are near or above the T line, and then it will just alert you what stocks are doing that. For the Mara trade, let's talk about this. So when I bought Mara was up over the T line a little bit, and I thought, okay, I'm going to take a risk on this trade with the idea that at the end of the day, if it does not close over the T line, this is one way that I use it. If it does not close over the T line, then I will absolutely get out of it, because I only want it if it closes over the T line. I'm not interested in it. I don't care what kind of a bottom it puts in here. I'm only interested if it's showing bullishness today. Otherwise, I'll wait till it shows me that bullishness again. And the scanner here that's what it showed me this morning. Just like CMCSA right here. I've also got this on my watch list. Disney. Now that one popped up this morning and just started ripping here today. Let's go look at HY. Let's see if this is, yeah, look at HYLN. See, yesterday we were underneath it, well, Friday underneath the T line, and now we're moving up over the T line. Let's see, Alice, is your T line the mean of the three? No, the T line is simply the 8 exponential moving average of price. So let me come up here. There's the T line right there. See there, it's just exponential of last price is all it is. It's the 8 exponential. Okay. So it's really kind of cool. When you can have a scan that in this particular scan here, I want it not crossing up, but what I want is laying right on it. So within a certain percent of the T line right here. That's kind of cool. Ford is one. Friday we went long Ford. Let me just get rid of all that. There we go. Friday we went long Ford because Ford was popping up, and Ford is one in my mind I knew I was going to watch anyway, and it started to alert Friday, laying right here on the T line, and boom, there we went. We bought into it, and today it's paying off fairly good right here. IWM right here at the T line. We've had a couple discussions in the trading room, in the Hit and Run Candlesticks trading room, about using a T line, and especially I'll say for folks that's just, say, starting out in trading or maybe struggling with a little bit of trading. I think this is probably about one of the coolest things I've ever stumbled across. And then having Ed with live trading alerts able to put some scans around that T line to do a whole lot of stuff. I mean, it can be up and bouncing off the T line. There's scans coming up from below, crossing above within X amount of days. I use 10, 12 days often is what I'll do. And what I'm looking for there is something like this. I'm looking for that cross up, and then it'll keep alerting. As long as we stay up here, it'll keep alerting within those days. But then what I do is I put a trap in there. So I'll put that 3 EMA trap in there like that. So that keeps it from alerting forever here. It'll alert for 10, 12 days, however I have it set up. But once it breaks out of the trap, it stops alerting. But I want to be alerted if it breaks out within, those 10, 12 days and just moves sideways inside the trap. That's what I'm looking for. Or something I've been doing a lot lately is just give me the cross up. And the reason I've been doing that is because the market has been down, down and choppy. So stocks that have pulled back below the T-line, it's very, very nice to find good quality charts that are just breaking back above. And this is the kind of swing that I like right there. Everybody's got to say, man, I wish I was in that. Well, you can be alerted. There are alerts out there to get that. So let's see, Emily, if we're setting the T-line on toss, is it just the 8 EMA? Yes, that's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. And it's last price or the closing price. Closing price, the current closing price would be the same as last price. I think TC2000 just calls it last price. Yeah. Fimi, if you want to hang around after this, Ed will be here and he might help you set up some scans. Or tomorrow, let's see, or Wednesday. Wednesday Ed is here and does training at 2 p.m. Eastern on LTA, okay? But if you hang around later, when he kicks me out of here, I think Ed will come on, be more than happy to help you set something up for the T-line. You might want to write down exactly what you want. He doesn't know what you want, so you might want to write that down exactly what you want. And by the way, don't say what Rick has, okay? Be very specific, and he will, I'm pretty sure he'll be more than happy to help you, okay? Here's CBOE. This is one that's rallied up. We're bouncing back down, and you can see how we're sitting right here on the T-line. And this is the kind of stuff that I like to look for, because I use the T-line probably more than I ever talk about it. Years ago, I used to talk about it a great deal more than I do now. But with all my trading, the T-line is involved with it because I've just discovered it's a great way to trade. Like I said, it's a guideline. Think of it like going to the bowling alley and having them put bumpers in the gutter, so you hit pins. Well, that's what I want. It's just a bumper for me. And then if price gets down below, well, then I'm out of those positions 9 out of 10 times. I just don't. That's the trade I'm looking for. Above that T-line. So it's nice to have those scans that look for those things. Now, I'll be honest, right now, I'm looking for a trade to trade. I may have found it right here. I'm looking for a trade. We bought some positions earlier today. I still need a couple positions, I think. I'm still bullish on the market. Barely, but still bullish. And here, check out CB. Now, and CB would have alerted here for me as well, but I didn't get in it there. And now we have a bullish day coming up. We actually have a little piercing candle here. We actually have a engulf, and then these 3 days are inside day to that engulf. We're hitting that T-line right here. So this becomes a trade for me, and so when I look for a buy, I want to look at several things in there, but I also want to know what am I risking. Risking is important. You have to know what you're willing to risk, and or what you're risking. So if I was to buy this right now, if it went below the T-line, I would not be very happy. And right here, it represents less than 1%. Now, I don't want anyone to think that just a dead flat move below the T line, I'm going to close it out. That's not necessarily true. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to incorporate a little price action in there. So I can see that today's low is sitting here. Make that a little bigger. I can see that today's low is sitting there. I can also see this low right here. And I get it. Trading, you're risking money in trading. And somewhere you've got to find this, or at least I do. I've had to find this happy medium. You know, no one wants to risk anything. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to buy this, but I only want to risk 0.5%. Well, in my world, what I've discovered is I'm going to get stopped out of every single one of them then. So we're going to have to risk more money. Doggone it. Well, how much do we risk? To me, it's got nothing to do with how much it is, as much as if it goes below the T line, I'm going to be unhappy. Now let's use some price action in here to help us with a stop out point. And I'm seeing this touch. We're just below this line here. And that's less than 1.5%. Is that fair enough? I think it's fair enough. And, you know, in some cases, a stock can move 1.5% and stop you out when you really didn't want to be stopped out. But on some charts, like this one here, fact is, below the T line, I'm going to be very unhappy. So why not put your stop in there and it's only 1.5%? So I want to write that down. There we go. So anyway, it's really, really nice to have this type of scan where you can find bounces off of the T line. You can find price coming up through the T line. You can look for price that has crossed over the T line within the last X days you choose, and maybe it's in what we call the trap, something like that. Anyway, I honestly, I'm amazed that, let's see, there's 118 people in here and 119 people now. And I know there's people in here that do not have the scanner. And I'll be honest with you, it truly amazes me. We enter into this business of trading and we don't have the best tools. It just amazes me that traders don't have the best tools. Why would you want to do that? Anyway, I think the scanner is just top notch. So, all right, let's see. Let me get some of these questions here. Serena, does BRKB meet the T line? Let's see here. BRKK. Oh, / I think that's just KRB, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Does it meet the T line? I'm not sure what you mean by meet the T line. There's the T line right there. Did it open up below? Yes. Did it cross above? Yes. Yeah. So maybe you have a different question. Maybe I'm just not understanding the question here. Nice chart, by the way. Super chart, in fact, if you ask me. The bad thing, it has earnings on the 26th, but what a beautiful chart that is. Gene is asking about ROST. Looks bullish to me. In fact, that's one that we talked about in the trading room a little bit this morning. We've rallied up. Beautiful downtrend, and then reversed. Here we rallied back up above the T-line. It looks to me like we're just going sideways. The bulls just seem like they're going after it, so I would have to be bullish on it. Let's talk about this for a second. So maybe on the downside, if I was to buy this, let's look what the risk is on the downside. 2%, under 3%. I would say under 3% maybe. So I'm going to look at the upside here. Why would I want to fart around with a stock that only has 3% profit to this top, and this top. How about we just wait till it breaks out and then we go after it? Anyway, there's my 2 cents on roast. Okay, Gene? That's my 2 cents on roast. Let's see, Ed, Rick, are you concerned with putting on too many trades in the financial services industry? Well, I don't feel that I have too many on, Ed. So, I mean, would I have 10 positions on and 10 in the financial services? No. Do I mind having 2 or even 3? No, I don't mind. No. Let's see, accidentally typed DB. Not too bad. Okay. David, 2% for me futures. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. How do you determine the exit on options? When I make money, I sell it, man. You know, let me answer that really quick, okay? Look, I probably trade way different than a whole lot of people, all right? And there is, I don't know, what are there? 1 billion people probably trade in the world. 2 billion, 10 billion, I don't know. You know, since the coming of things like Robinhood and all this sort of stuff, and everybody and their brother can open up an account and connect it with their personal checking account, everybody and their brother is a trader all of a sudden. And I got to tell you, I probably trade very different than the majority of those people. So here, let me do this. Let's see, Bank of America, or no, let's use C for an example. I bought C early Friday because it was coming up on one of my T-line scans right there. I bought some C, and so the question was, how do I sell? How do you determine an exit in options? Okay. Options have nothing to do with my exits. Options have nothing to do with my entries. Options have nothing to do with my trade. My trade comes from the chart, period, okay? Am I trading options? Yes. But what I'm trading is simple calls and puts, directional calls and puts. So, when the stock moves up and I make my money, I sell the stock. So how do I exit? I sell it, just like that. So my goal, really quick here, my goal is to double my money times 2 every 12 months. Or even more times, which I got to tell you, we're working on. I've already doubled it 3 times, and now I'm working on my 4th time. Okay, inside 12 months. So my basic goal is to double my account in 12 months, and by doing that, I know there's about 240 days to trade in a year. So now what I'm going to do is, whatever that number is, I don't know what anyone's account is, but just take your count. What's the double? So how much money do you need? You just do some division here, kind of sort of like that, something like that. Do some division in here, and you might find it only takes you $100 a day net or $40 a day net to double your money. Well, once you know this piece of information, and by the way, it could be $1,000. I'm not leaving any of you big players out of the picture here. Once you know this information, so now let's go back to my C, okay? So C came up. I made a good goal, couple goals. I call these goals. So I made a couple goals right here on C. Now I'm still holding C, and when C gets up to this area, more than likely I'm going to close it out again. Notice in this part of the equation, not one time did I mention anything about options. The only reason I use options is to leverage my money. That is all. Leverage my money. That's it. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that was simple, and that's my goal, is to keep it simple. Okay. Anyway, let's see here. I'm still searching for something to buy. That CB still looking good here. I like that CB. I have to think about that. XLE, that's too far gone for me. Anyway, let's get back to questions here. Carson, when you say 1 or 10%, what numbers are you calculating? 1 or 10%? Carson, do you mean for a stop? And I'll watch for your answer below, okay? Carson, I'm going to go with what you're talking about asking is a stop, okay? So if not, please re-ask the question below, a little more for me to figure it out. So let's say I buy some CB here. I put my stop based on the chart, nothing at all with options. It's strictly the chart. So since I'm about to buy CB here, or start, let me bring this up. So when I'm going to buy a chart, and again, this is coming up on the scanner. This is giving me all kinds of alerts all over the place on the scanner. I'm going to go out a minimum of 50 days. So let's just start with 52 here. And then I'm going to look for open interest. And there's no open interest. Let's go to May. I'm going to look for open interest, and there's just not enough. Let's try August. You know what? I'm not going to trade CB. I can't do it. It doesn't meet my options, an option trade for me. So there's just not enough interest. This 362 might be enough, but I'm going to pass on it. I think there's other better trades. We'll find something. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back. And we'll talk about this if I find one. We'll figure it out. We'll find something. So anyway, on the stop, it's based on the chart, okay? If that's what you meant. Ed, you're asking, is ABBV a go? I can't tell you that. All right. I can tell you that I'm not going to trade it. I don't know if it's a go for you. I don't know what your rules are. Okay, my rules are not your rules. I cannot. My advice is don't follow my rules. You can use some of mine, but you have to make your own. For me, what I'm going to have to see in this chart is for this price to close over that downtrend line right there, and then set up. So what it might look like, what it could look like, is a close over that. And you know what? I should do it this way. Let's do it this way. There we are. A close over that line, and then I'm going to need to see price walk sideways and rest. So let's draw this out with an arrow. Kind of take a look at it. So I'm going to need to see price and rest. Now that might become a trade for me, but this is not a trade for me down here. Doesn't mean it's not a trade for somebody, just not a trade for me. Let's see, C's asking, you have good finds with the scanner, but if one has a subscription, can they have your setups? Absolutely. Absolutely. We share them all the time, C. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing secretive about my scans, not at all. In fact, if you were to go to, here I'm bringing it up right now. If you were to go to the main app, or main application, the main LTA main application here, and you click down on this arrow, there's some scans to get you started out with. And I got to tell you, the first one I'd recommend is that first one right there. Right there. But yeah, we absolutely share the scans. There's no secrets there whatsoever. So yeah. And we'll help you set them up. Ed'll help you. I'll certainly help you. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Let's see, Serena, does it meet your... I think I already answered that, Serena. I think. And the reason I'm going to skate out of this is because you don't have the ticker there. And honestly, I can't go back and look, and I certainly don't remember. All right? Sorry. Let's see, Fimi. So at what point would you consider the entry when it's touching the T-line? Okay, that's a fair question. That's a good question here. Let me try to find one. Man, I really want to buy something. So let's... You know what? I was talking about adding to Ford, but see Ford. Look at Ford moving up. That's nice. So I really want to find one I can buy so I can just, I mean, absolutely hammer my point home here, what I do. I'll tell you what. Let's buy a little Coke. I'm going to buy a little Coke here. When's earnings? Earnings is plenty good and far away. So I'm going to buy a little Coke. Get rid of all that. So here's the question. I'm going to read this question again. So at what point would you consider the entry when it's touching the T-line? Okay, Fimi, I'm going to have to go into my real quick speech on I don't use an entry to make money. Entries don't matter to me. They really, really don't. Within reason, of course, all right? I mean, if Coke was up here, would I be buying, if Coke went from here to up here, would I be buying it? Absolutely not. That's too high. Entry to me is not, well, it just crossed the T-line, $50.32, 34 cents. And notice, I'm not rushing in to buying it. I'm not panicking, all right? The buy for me was not down here, absolutely was not down here at 49.80 something, okay? So, to me, you've got a chart set up, and let's break it down now. This is an entry area. So where do we think price can go? Do you think price could get up here to around 52.70? You think price can get underneath that big candle right there? I do. I do. So I might be willing to take that trade right in there. I'm going to look at this price pattern. I'm going to look at what price action has been doing. I'm going to look at the candle patterns. I'm looking at the fact that it's just now over the T-line from today. You know what? I'm willing to take that trade. I don't need to wait for it to pull back. I don't need to wait for it to do anything else. And notice I'm still not in a panic to get into it. I'm truly not in a panic. I'm not rushing around like a chicken with my head cut off. I'm not fretting about it. Let me bring my... There we go. So let's mosey on over. And I'm going to go 50 days plus. Let's start with 50. And is there some open interest? I'll bet we can find more. I'm going to be looking for around a 70 delta. So let's just look a little harder here. There's 87 days. Well, there's 8, 10, 71. That's doable. Let's look at June. Oh, boy. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to go check the May one more time. No, you know what? I think I'm going to go with June here. Let's go with June. And I'm going to use that 69 delta, so this 47.50 strike. So I'm just going to click on that right there, and then that gets everything opened up in my ticket here. And I'm going to click on that buy button, and we're going to, there we go, buy. I'm going to place the order, and the order has now been placed, and it did fill. So I'm long Coke. Let me put this back. There we go. Just like that. So to your question, at what price? Who cares? For me anyway, who cares? Maybe somebody cares. Maybe somebody says, look, You know what? I'm not going to buy Coke unless it dips down to $50.36. Well, rock and roll. Do what you do. I do what I do. And I've never made a dime on entry. Never. Now, I've been trading 34 years, and not one time have I made money on an entry. I make money when I buy it and it goes up. Never once have I made money on an entry. Never once have I entered in a stock and then received a phone call. Rick, you just made $292. Never once has that happened. And I don't think it's ever going to happen. However, I do make money when I buy it and it goes up. And it's all about looking for quality charts, good setups, and being alerted when those charts are in your setups. So I hope I got my point across there, okay? I hope I got my point across. And by the way, if I didn't buy Coke today, I could have just as easily waited for Coke to break out and bought it here. Just as easy. And I would have been just as happy. Just as happy. Okay. Great question, by the way. Thank you. Let's see, Jim. Do you sell options at the market order or limit order or midway? Midway. When I buy an option, I buy mid-price. Tell you about WRB? Sure. WRB, you got a J-hook type setup, setting up. Earnings not till April, so that's good. Let me get rid of all that right there. Overall, I kind of like that chart. Pretty nice. We've broken out here. We've broken out. We've pulled back. Test. Overall, to me, that chart's looking pretty good. Might run up and test up here. So, yeah, overall looks good. Oh, okay, David, I see now. 2% max risk reward. Yeah. You're only doing futures now? Okay. No, John, I don't use ATR when trading or trailing stops. No, I don't. First of all, I don't trail price. Okay, it's. I'm gonna go to Bank of America here. Look, everybody has got their thing in trading. All right, everyone does, and it's okay. Everyone needs to have their thing. You know, what makes you tick as a trader? What makes you money as a trader? And some people are into, say, buying right here. And then I'm going to do this a little differently so I've got some flexibility. There we go. Some people are into buying right there. And then what they'll do is they'll just keep moving their stop up. As price moves up, they'll move your stop up. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I think that's a terrific way to trade. Just keep moving it up, all right? So you're using a trailing stop in there. But that's not my thing. It's not my thing. And, you know, like I said, everybody's got to have your thing. Whatever works for you, works for you. Whatever works for me, works for me. And it's okay that we have the same thing. I'm about focusing, again, on doubling my account at minimum in 12 months. And I have discovered the best way for me to do that is when I buy something, like I bought Bank of America Friday, the best way for me is to take half off the table and put a few $100s in my pocket like I did today. And then when it moves up higher, at this point, I'll close it out if it moves up higher. Now, can Bank of America go up here? And can that stop, you know, can this chart be trailed all the way up? Absolutely it can. But that's not my thing. Right? That's just not my thing. And everyone has got to do that. Everyone has got to figure out how you make money. And once you figure that out, then you just repeat it. It's just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So no, I don't use ATR. The only time I use anything remotely close to ATR, and we're not going to talk about it today, is when I use the volatility stop. And for my volatility stop, what I mostly use it for is for buying. In fact, that scan that I shared, let me go get it right here. That scan right here, this one right there, it has the volatility stop built into it, so that when you buy, you're buying not only in a trap, but you're also buying with a minimum percent above. In this case, it would be yesterday's candle or Friday's candle or dot here. It would be a minimum or maximum percent away from that. And that's the only time I really use anything close to ATR. You say you want 10%. How do you calculate that? Carson, you're going to have to help me out. I'm not calculated from here up. You know, there's 10% right there. I'm just using the TC2000 to tell me that. I'm not sure what you mean by I want 10%, and then how do I calculate that? Oh, you know what? No, I still don't know. Yeah, sorry. I don't understand where the 10% is coming from. I guess that's what I don't understand. Sorry. Maybe you can, help me out down below. Okay. What's my thoughts on XLF? I think it's bullish, Alice. It's trending. Here's a guaranteed fact about me. If there are no harsh candlestick signals here, which there are not, and if price is above the T line, which it is, and if the T line is above the 17 and the 17, or the Trendicator, which is just the 17 exponential, as long as they're green, then I'm in a trend. Now, maybe there's a more important question: is it a buy? There's a difference between being in a bullish trend and a buy right now. So I think this is in a bullish trend, and for me, yes, this would be a buy. It still looks great here. Okay. DKS is a beautiful chart. Mr. Steve Risner sent this to me last night on Skype. This is an excellent looking chart. In fact, I sent him a note this morning. Good call on DKS. Yep. Yeah, that looks terrific, Mitch. Yep. In fact, I'm going to flag that. Would you look at OCGN? And there we go. That is a 3/8 trap. Yes, it is. And I'll leave that right there, okay? Unless you have another question. Yes, that is a 3/8 trap. Price is above the T line, and the 3 will be up here somewhere. Let's see, John, when you're trading in the money deltas and you are wrong based on your charts, the price reversed your original bias of direction, you are risking $3,000 on the option. The value of the option is now 40 deltas. My question is, what trumps the chart to get out, or the devaluation of the option premium based on the percent loss? I trade everything from the chart, John. So if I was to buy this chart right now, if this chart did not go my direction, if it gave me a sell signal, if it went below my stop, then I'm out of the trade. Okay. You're showing a white background on the scanner. No, I use a black background on the scanner. This is one of my scanner windows right here. You're thinking about the you're talking about the The main app, yeah, I wouldn't fret about the main app. Yeah, and you can change the background. You can change the background any color you want. Yeah, I can come over here and here, let's change it to pink. There you go. How's that? That'll make us go blind. Let's see, David, how do you determine which stock to trade? You know, David, this is how do you determine? You join hit and run candlesticks and learn. That's how that's not an answer I can just blurt out. There's no, and it's because there is no fast pinpoint answer. This is where you join hit and run candlesticks, you sit in there with us, you learn, you ask questions, you learn more, you ask more questions, you learn more, and then in a couple months you'll figure it out. It all comes and makes sense. Okay? That is just not a it's just not a question you can just reach in your pocket and pull out an answer to. You just can't do it. Let's see, Richard, what was the arrow you selected at LTA to show your scans? The only thing I can think of that you're speaking of is this little thing right here, Richard, I believe. And this is the main application. And you just click on that drop down, and there's a list of scans and see, I can click on this one, and it loads everything in there for you. Only three things you have to do. One, you have to choose your watch list, and you can create your own watch list if you want. Two, you have to name it. Name it. Try that again. Name it. And then you have to click bottom right, create window. So name it, pick the watch list you want, or you can create your own, and then click create, just like that. I think that's what you meant. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Just a second. I need to make sure. Whoa. Hey, I need to go look at my X. I was in X. I bought X. Now I can't remember. One of these 2 days. X is working out pretty nice. Yeah, 15.5% now. Looking like it's going to break out. So I think I'm going to, this was all an example we were talking about. So right now I see X moving up here to 20 bucks and some change. So go X, and then from there, we'll see if it can't get closer to 22. All right. Can you compare Coke and ABBV? So I can better learn how you read charts. Well, ABBV, it has a downtrend line. It has to clear that downtrend line, period. Okay, simple as that. There's my answer for this one. Here's Coke. Coke has created a rounded bottom. Coke has created a trend. Notice we have a low, a high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We're trying to make a higher high. So we clearly have a trend. I also see room for Coke to move up a little bit. And this line right here would be kind of like the same representation of that ABBV diagonal line. In other words, when we get to that blue line on Coke, I'll have to reevaluate that chart. Just like this one. We're at that line. I have to evaluate this chart. And this chart here is going to have to clear that line. Okay. And believe me, this is a great looking chart. And I mean, absolutely, this is a great looking chart. You just, you just have to have standards is all. Where's your standard? I draw the line. I don't pick up gum off the ground and chew it. I'm going to walk in the store and buy a brand new pack. So just have standards, that's all. And again, I'm not saying that this is a bad chart at all. It just doesn't meet my standard. I love the chart, by the way. I think the chart looks great. I think we need to have it on our watch list. I would just rather trade it after it breaks out and then rest a little bit. That's all. But it's absolute. And what's the worst thing that's going to happen to you? I mean, if you wanted to buy this, what in the world is the worst thing that's going to happen to you? You buy it, you put your stop right there, you're looking at 2.5% risk. That's the worst thing that's going to happen to you. So. Oh yeah, David, I don't use any intraday except I will use the 3-bar chart. And the way I use the 3-bar chart is to help with dissecting today's candle. That's what the 3-bar chart does. It dissects today's candle. It also dissects yesterday's candle or the previous day's candle. So I can look at this chart and we know what the daily chart is doing, right? It opened and it's up. Well, so far today, it's made a bullish engulf with follow through. Yesterday or Friday, it actually, if we take these 3 candles are Friday's candles, these 3 candles are Thursday's candles, and these 3 are Wednesday's candles. So I can just look at that chart and see, well, we have a clear top. We have kind of in my little crazy world, we have an evening star here with follow through, follow through, follow through, and now we have a reversal going on. So I do use the 3-bar chart, intraday chart, to help tear down the daily chart a little bit. Okay, how do you do that? Let's see. Looking at some GD. I think we peeked at that earlier too. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, GD is very nice for a long chart. Trending, we rest, and now we're hooking back up. And this is a nice little bullish J hook in the making there. JC's saying no open interest in WRB. And see, that would be a no. That would be an absolute no trade for me. Sorry, I've got to check on a couple of things here. XOP is continuing to work. We bought that today. XOP. All right. So Mara here, this is not turning out to be a very good trade. Because and I want to show people this because I've had people say, geez, Rick, you never have losing trades. I share my losing trades all the time. In fact, anytime I have a losing trade, we share it on the app, and I'll share, hey, this was a loss. And so far, Mara is not doing what I wanted it to do. And my rule with this today when I bought it was that it has to close over the T-line. Now, by the end of the day, it just might do that, and I'll be happy. But if it does not close over the T-line, I will be closing this out. And so far, not looking so good. Not looking great. A lot of day left, though. That's my only hope. Can you share your scan again? Jake, really, the only scan I've actually shared today was, this one right in here. We've been talking about T-line scans, and I haven't shared anything there. In fact, I'm not going to because there's too many, and what'll happen is this hour would turn into being 9 hours long. But Ed will be here after this, and he can help you get through some T-line scans if you want. Okay. Let's see here, Serena. I need to grab a drink real quick. Okay, when you put in your stop loss, do you use the price of the stock? Yes. I'm taking a pause here because I want the answer is yes. I know where I don't even have to read the next part of the question. I know where this is going. And or there we go. Or the option price. I use the stock price, Serena. I wanna stop here one more time. And I know that people don't understand this. I did not understand it myself. I know that a lot of folks, they look at options as some fancy-pantsy way to make a trade. You can make it fancy-pantsy. You can do that. I don't, however. The only thing I use options for, the only thing, is to leverage my money. Let me give you an example, okay? With the Road to Wealth account, I can't trade Tesla because I don't have enough money in that account. I can't trade Tesla. But by trading options, I can trade Tesla. I'm leveraging my money is what I'm doing, all right? Now I want to go back to Coke. So let me finish reading everything you wrote here. So for Coke, will you exit the trade on the option price? No. Of a certain dollar amount below what you paid? No. Or below a certain price of the stock? Yes. If using the stock price, will you close the trade at the close of the day or midday? Good question there at the end. All right, let's clear this off. Okay, so first of all, where would I be unhappy with this trade? I think I would be unhappy with this trade if it closed below, well, let's just call it $50, all right? Let's just call it 50 bucks. And that's, yeah, I would be very unhappy with this trade. So I'm going to use the stock price. So far, I have not mentioned not one word about the option. So we're going to use a $50 stock, or $50 price as a stop. Okay, so now the second part of the question was, will I wait till the end of the day or midday? Okay, in a perfect world, I would wait to the end of the day, in a perfect world. Now, there are times when I will do it midday. Let me share what those times are. So, I bought Coke just now. So what if Coke just started to turn around and just head down? Would I close that out? What I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to go take a look at the market. What's the market doing? If the market is also doing this, I'm going to sell that thing instantly, and probably a whole lot of other things that I'm in. If I see the market moving down and I see Coke moving down, I will most definitely do it in midday. No question about that. If the market is moving up and I see Coke moving down that much, it's going to have to move down a bit. I'm not going to, if it just comes and plays with it, I'm not going to close it out midday. I'll wait to the end of the day. But, at some point it's going to come down here and I'm going to have to close it out. But generally speaking, I like to wait to the end of the day. Again, that would be a perfect world. What do you think of November? It's the month before Christmas. I think that's a nice chart. Let's clear all this out. Low, high. We'll count that as a low. Higher high. Low, higher high. That's a nice chart. So I'm going to come in here and put probably right there. Anything below that price action, I'm not going to be that happy with it. Nice chart. I like that. The only negative is you've got, you know, a little bit of resistance here to chew through, but overall, I think that's a top-notch chart. Very nice. DKS, I think that's a nice chart. I think that's a very nice chart, DKS. You're welcome, Alice. Vin, the earning is just around the corner on Coke. Oh, that's plenty long away for me. Just around the corner. Would that be of interest to you? It would be the day before or 2 days before, something like that. But that is, this might as well be a lifetime away for me. That's 2 months away. That's a lifetime away for me. Do you still use your pinball? I do, yes. Yes. EHTH. Nice. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, nice. The 34 is probably right in this area right here. That's very nice, actually. Nice pinball setup. Do you do pinball setups that work in bearish markets? You mean from the top down? Usually I'm looking for blue ice failures. But yes, you can do the same thing from the top down. I don't really go after that too much. But you know, like something crossing the T line down with maybe the 50 below it, you know, and that's what you'd be looking for, or the 34, I guess, from the top down to that moving average. All the pinball is from one moving average to another moving average. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Do I have everything? Thank you, Monica. Did I get everything answered? Does anyone have any other questions? And I'm going to run through a few of my trades here. Bank of America is still looking good, and we'll see if it can get 35.35 up here. C still looking good, and I'm still kind of looking for that 67. I was short, still am short CVS. Today it's making me question a little bit, but today's not over. But I'm short CVS, and so far that's working. Oh, let's see. You meant, I must have. Okay. Let's see. I meant if the S&P is bearish, would a pinball setup work? It could, Jake. It could. It could. Yeah. Yeah. Why wouldn't it work? The only thing is you're trying to go long in a bearish market, and I'm not sure that that's the best thing in the world to do. But of course, doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter how bearish the S&P is. Does not matter at all. There's always going to be a long trade somewhere, and why couldn't one be a pinball setup? One could absolutely be a pinball setup. What else am I in here? Ford is doing well. Ford starts to break out. That'll make us some money right there. That'll be a money maker. And of course, bought some Coke. I'm even money on it right now. Mara is my little dog. Today's dog. Yeah, we'll see what the end of the day brings. X is paying very well, and XOP is paying very well. All right, doing great here. Any other questions? Any other questions at all? The CX is coming through the T line now. SLV, bullish, Alice. bullish. Boule, boule. You're welcome. You're welcome. All righty. I'm going to wrap it up then. I want to thank everybody for being here. I appreciate it. Look, I'm dead serious. One of the hardest things about trading is finding the chart. It really, really is, because trading itself is about the easiest thing in the world. There is nothing hard about trading. Now, we tend to make it hard because we have all this baloney garbage that we want to tag along with it, you know. You don't need that. You don't need all that baloney garbage. You know, I just using the T-line, one of the best trades that I know of. Price crossed over the T-line. You know, there's other things we're looking at, like the trend, and I want to look at the overall chart pattern here. We cross over the T-line. If it closes back below the T-line, well, you wouldn't like it, would you? You know, I get asked all the time, well, where would you put your stop? Well, first of all, let's answer the question, where would you not like the chart? And once you answer that question, you've come very close to where your stop would go. So the question never should be, where's the stop? The question should always be, where would I not like the chart? That answers the stop question. But the stop question can be so overwhelming because you're not asking anything that you can answer. You can't answer that question. Where's the stop? I don't know. Because there's no dot connection. You can't answer that question. So, rather than ask the question, where's your stop? Ask where you would not like the chart. When you're trading the T-line, now I'm not saying that every trade I'm making is going to be this way. I'm just saying when I'm trading the T-line, I'm going to consider where the T-line is, and then I'm going to consider a little bit of price action. I'm going to give that chalk a little bit of room. So if I was to buy the diamonds right now, I'm looking at what? 0.5% risk. How easy is that? It's not that easy if you have to hunt around and find the charts. And this is where the scanner comes in, and it's like service. It's amazing. So anyway, I'm going to answer Vin's question here, and then I'm going to jump out of here, okay? Rick, thanks for a lot. I appreciate your education. Thank you. I don't do trading. But it's still enjoyable and have referred to lots of people here. Thank you very much. And they're all retired like you. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. All right. Jake, I do not know which you are referring to. I did not share a scan here today. All right. I did not, Jake. So I mentioned that above. I did not share a particular scan today. All right, so I just don't know what you speak of there. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Ed, thank you very much. Hang around, folks. Ed can answer some of your questions if you have any. Otherwise, I'm going to head over to the Hit Run Candlesticks room, and I'm gonna as soon as I get over there, I'm going to send out the alert that I bought some Coke. So if you have the alert app, you should receive that within the next 2-3 minutes, okay? I just need to go get that room opened up. All right, we'll see everybody later. Take care, and thank you very much, Ed. Appreciate it.